6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Mallavarachi, read by Soundi Thavam. Laughs Gas Company has reduced domestic gas prices. The Sapugaskanda oil refinery will be operational from tomorrow. The government says that urea fertilizer will be provided to maize cultivation as well. The United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework launched. 1,590 dengue patients have been reported. In foreign news, many casualties feared in Kabul mosque blast. And in sports, the Pakistan Super League is to become the first T20 league to go head-to-head with the IPL. Laughs Gas plc has decided to reduce domestic gas prices with effect from today. Accordingly, the price of a 12.5 kilogram cylinder of Laughs domestic gas has been reduced by 1,050 rupees to 5,800 rupees. In a statement, Laughs Gas plc said the price of a 5 kilogram cylinder of Laughs domestic gas has been reduced to 2,320 rupees and a 2 kilogram gas cylinder will be sold at 928 rupees. The Sapugaskanda oil refinery will become operational from tomorrow. The unloading of crude oil ship is now taking place. The Petroleum Corporation said that the ship carried 100,000 metric tons of crude oil to the country. Another ship with 120,000 metric tons of crude oil is scheduled to arrive in the country on the 29th. The Minister of Power and Energy, Kanchana Wijesekara, said that the CPC hopes to commence refinery operations without any interruptions and a continuous supply of crude oil. The Minister of Agriculture, Mahinda Amaraveera, says that urea fertilizer will be provided to maize cultivation as well. The Ministry of Agriculture has called for applications online from the maize cultivators for the distribution of urea fertilizer. Another vessel from India has arrived with urea fertilizer stocks. Accordingly, the ministry plans to distribute 10,000 metric tons of urea to maize cultivators. A 50 kilogram urea fertilizer stock will be sold at a nominal rate of 10,000 rupees to the cultivators. The minister also said and instructed that the distribution of urea fertilizer required for the paddy cultivation in the Maha season should be done before the start of the cultivation season. 21,000 metric tons of urea fertilizer provided to Sri Lanka under the Indian loan scheme is scheduled to reach the port of Colombo this week. Minister Amaraveera said the Ministry of Agriculture has decided to provide that stock and the stock of fertilizer left after distribution in the Yalla season for maize, tea and potato cultivation as well. The United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework 2023 to 2027 was launched on Wednesday by the Government of Sri Lanka and the United Nations in Sri Lanka. The United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation is the framework that guides the work of all the UN agencies in Sri Lanka and articulates the collective vision and contribution of the United Nations to support Sri Lanka to accelerate action towards the achievement of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The cooperation framework gives primacy to accelerating action to ensure rapid recovery from the economic crisis along with the impact of COVID-19, prioritizing support to revitalize the economy and economic activities, social services, decent employment, social cohesion, and health and well-being for all people in Sri Lanka. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Sri Lanka's death toll from COVID-19 has climbed to 16,635 after the Director General of Health Services confirmed 5 more COVID-19 related deaths in the country for yesterday. According to the Government Information Department, 4 victims were aged 60 years and above. The others were aged between 30 to 59 years. Among the victims were 2 males and 3 females. Meanwhile, another 161 new COVID-19 infections have been identified in the country yesterday. This brings the total number of COVID-19 cases detected in the country thus far to 668,497. The Samagi Jana Balavega MP Eran Vikramaratne has emphasised that it is essential to restructure state institutions for the development of the country. He said that the country's economy has been destroyed due to wrong policies. By the first 4 months of this year, 52 state institutions had made a loss of 560 billion rupees. He said various revelations have been disclosed in connection with the loans taken from China. He questioned whether state institutions are maintained on behalf of the people or to maintain a small number of employees. Actress Jacqueline Fernandez has been named and accused in the money laundering case against conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar, who faces charges of extortion amounting to a massive 200 crore Indian rupees. The actor has been named and accused in the supplementary charge sheet filed in a Delhi court by the Enforcement Directorate, which is probing the money trail in the extortion case. The Enforcement Directorate said Sukesh Chandrasekhar has given various gifts worth 5.71 crore Indian rupees to Jacqueline Fernandez from the proceeds of crime generated by criminal activities, including extortion. And that's local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Foreign Employment Bureau says more than 150 Sri Lankans are leaving weekly for employment in Korea. The Deputy General Manager of the Bureau, PDK Yapa, said that they expect to further increase the number in the future. Apart from that, there is a demand for employment in Israel, Japan and in several European countries. He said that Sri Lankans have a high recognition in the nursing care sector. He disclosed that there are many vacancies in the agriculture sector in Japan. However, it is essential to be proficient in languages for these employment opportunities, and it came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
The National Dengue Eradication Unit says that 1,590 dengue patients were identified last week. The director of the unit, Dr. Sudat Samaravira, said that more than 50% of them were found in the Western Province. He said 56 medical health divisions of the country have been declared as dengue high-risk zones. He further said that more than 50,000 dengue patients have been reported up to now from the beginning of this year, and it came to you in Watchlight.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Moving on to a bulletin of world news making headlines this morning. Many casualties feared in Kabul mosque blast. Dog infected with monkeypox prompts isolation warning. And China inducing rainfall to combat severe drought. A huge explosion has ripped through a mosque in the Afghan capital Kabul, the police say. The blast is thought to have occurred during evening prayers, with many casualties feared, though figures are not yet known. Khalid Zadran, the Taliban's Kabul police spokesman, was quoted by local media as saying that there had been an explosion in the city's 17th district. Reports said the mosque's imam was among the dead. A dog has been infected with monkeypox after catching the virus from its owner, the World Health Organization WHO has said. It's the first case of its kind, and health leaders say isolating from pets when infected is important. The WHO also warned of the need to get rid of rubbish carefully to reduce the risk of infecting other animals. There is no evidence that dogs can transmit the disease to other dogs or humans, an expert said. Chinese authorities are attempting to induce rainfall in parts of central and southwest China amid a severe drought and record-breaking heatwave. The Yangtze River, Asia's longest waterway, is now at record low levels. In some stretches, there has been less than half the usual rainfall. Hydropower reservoirs are currently down by as much as half, officials say. At the same time, a surge in demand for air conditioning has put power companies under extreme pressure. Back to the headlines of the world news. Many casualties feared in Kabul mosque blast. Dog infected with monkeypox prompts isolation warning. And China induces rainfall to combat severe drought. That concludes this bulletin of world news, and on to development news. The Power and Energy Ministry is focused on speedily increasing the renewable energy production capacity to the national grid by approving proposed renewable energy projects. This was revealed at a discussion held at the Ministry to review the progress of renewable energy projects. The Adani Green Energy Group was granted permission for investments of more than $500 million for 2 wind energy projects of 286 megawatts in Mana and 234 megawatts in Punareen. That's development news.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank, we present your future.
The Pakistan Super League is on course to become the first T20 league to go head-to-head with the IPL in 2025, the situation caused by Pakistan's packed home season in 2024-2025. As reported by ESPN Cricinfo, the schedule crunch that season is mainly because Pakistan is hosting its first ICC tournament, the Champions Trophy, in February 2025 in almost 30 years. The 1996 ODI World Cup was the last. That forced the PCB to ink in a window between March and May for the 10th season of the PSL. The IPL's extended window in the international calendar starts in March every year, all the way to the beginning of June. That's sports news. We'll look at business news next.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSP You Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The 16th edition of the Hotel Asia Exhibition and International Culinary Challenge, organised by the Maldives Exhibition and Conference Services, will be held from October 10th to 12th this year in the capital, Male. The main event organiser for Sri Lanka is Lanka Exhibition and Conference Services. The entry for the exhibition is free of charge, and this year over 4,000 people are expected. That's business news. Economic news up next.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSP You Trust.
On to economic news, the Ministry of Power and Energy has partnered with a local motor mechanics company and USAID to convert 3-wheelers run on petrol to electric 3-wheelers with a view to easing fuel consumption in the country amid an ongoing fuel crisis. The move also aims to promote a greener transportation sector. On Tuesday, USAID Sri Lanka's energy program and David Peary's motor company, DPMC, signed an MOU in this regard. That's economic news, and on to the weather report. The Met Department forecasts several spells of light showers in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Galle and Matara districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the central, Uva, eastern, northern and north-central provinces during the evening or night. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. Lav's Gas Company has reduced domestic gas prices. The Sapugaskanda oil refinery will be operational from tomorrow. The government says that urea fertilizer will be provided to maize cultivation as well. The United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework launched. 1,590 dengue patients have been reported. Many casualties feared in Kabul mosque blast. And the Pakistan Super League is to become the first T20 league to go head-to-head with the IPL. With that, we conclude this morning's news broadcast, and now it's back to your hostess, Geetanjali Ramanayaka.